Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm doing well, Andrea. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, I am actually going to be interviewing Andrea Schneider today. She is a health and wellness consultant, sports nutritionist, author of her best-selling online program, The Best You, and author of her book, You Are Not Alone: Life After Breast Cancer. So glad that you're here today.
Thank you, Karen. I'm so glad to be here and really enjoy your work. And we've shared so much over the past couple of years. So, it's all a work in progress. That's what we are. So we help each other, we help others, and somehow it all comes together for us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I should probably tell everybody who I am, right? Sometimes I
Right.
forget myself. My name is Karen Langston. I'm a holistic nutritionist. I'm also author of my own online program, which is Healthy Gut Advisor. And Andrea and I became friends a couple of years ago. We actually met down in Mexico, and we just sort of hit it off. And our whole philosophy on health and wellness seems to really jive, if you will.
Right. We're really, really in alignment. And I've learned so much from Karen, and hopefully she feels that she's learned from me. And we really complement each other with what we do and what we offer to others.
Yeah, absolutely. So, going back to your book, I've actually read your book and it's incredible. And it's a really good start for anyone trying to figure out what they want to do and how they want to do it. And it's like the way you wrote the book, it was almost as if you were sitting right beside the person and helping them to figure out what their next option was. So, first, tell me a little bit about your stories surrounding this dramatic event and then what led you to writing the book.
Right. So Karen's talking about my book, You Are Not Alone: Life After a Breast Cancer Diagnosis. I wrote it. Took me 4 years to write, and it's been out about 5 years. 9 years ago, I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer. Now, I had a lump that just kept coming back in my right breast, and it was benign. It was atypical cells. It was this, it was that. And I didn't know that much about health. I was an attorney. I had a very stressful life. I had a young child, and I was just going about my life, doing what I normally do, exercising, thinking I was healthy. And the next thing you know, I had my second child. And soon after, I had a lump again, kind of put it off for a while. Finally went to the doctor. I was still nursing my little boy. And this surgeon just felt that it was scar tissue because I had had a bunch of biopsies. So put it off a little more. I actually then went to an acupuncturist. She released the scar tissue. And I have a feeling it was kind of an ego thing with the surgeon. When I went back to her, I was thinking everything felt great. She goes, "Oh no, I think this feels more pronounced. I want to do a biopsy." So we did the biopsy, and lo and behold, it was cancer. And it was something called ductal carcinoma in situ, which means, in layman's terms, very early stage breast cancer in the milk ducts. So then I was very surprised because she wanted to do a little more biopsy because she didn't feel that they had what's called a clean margin. So she needed to go back in and get some more tissue for sampling. And so I had to go back in 2 days later, have some more. And now they found a little more cancer. So now I was called multifocal ductal carcinoma in situ. And I started doing a little research on my own on the internet. And again, this was about 9 years ago, a little more. And I was shocked to see that the treatment choices were mastectomy, which I thought was very, very harsh, or radiation followed by tamoxifen, and perhaps a lifetime of medication and drugs. And I'm not really a medication type girl. So I went back and forth what to do. And during this time, I was taking a lot of notes. I'm a prolific note taker. And it kind of helped me stay a little bit sane, writing down what these doctors and the oncologists said, and this one, and the research I was coming up with. And ultimately, I chose to have a double mastectomy and reconstruction. And I had a lot of reasons why I chose that, and we could save that for another conversation. But then I realized after, which the whole process took about a year, that I had all this information. So why not share it with other ladies who could benefit from it? And maybe some men too. And a lot of men have read my book, which I didn't really expect, but
Hmm.
maybe help them gain some knowledge of one of what some of the things you maybe could do to prevent, which I now know a lot more. And so that book actually needs to be updated, or you can find my new thought process in my blogs and emails and my course that we'll talk about a little later. But anyway, so during the writing of that book, I just realized, I could give this information, like, what do you do when you are diagnosed? How do you make a treatment choice? What questions should you be asking your doctor? So all that kind of information, I just decided to put together for others to kind of help them get through this very traumatic time just that much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm really glad that you wrote that book. I was shocked at how thorough it is. It must have something to do with your lawyer background, is it?
Yeah, perhaps that was it, Karen. Yeah, yeah.
Well, the one thing that I did notice is that your book does not cover the health and wellness or the nutrition aspect of breast cancer. So now you're so healthy yourself, but you're also into the health and wellness. You know, you're a sports nutritionist and a health and wellness consultant. So how did you go from your book to the program Best You?
Yeah, so writing the book in many ways, I wrote it in somewhat of an objective way. And I think when I look back, I didn't really realize it, but for many, many years, I was kind of in survival mode. You get a major diagnosis, whether it's cancer or something traumatic that could be life-changing, and your brain has to accommodate in some way. And you kind of go into kind of a shell shock way, a post-traumatic way, whatever you want to call it, survival mode. And so someone had said to me, like, was that writing the book cathartic? And I really didn't think it was, but yet I think back and I just sat for hours sometimes and wrote and wrote, and maybe it was helpful to me in some way. But at the time I wrote it, I was basing it on real research of Western medicine and choices and testing that was available. And I really didn't consider alternative ways of either treating my diagnosis or, and now what I like to think of it as complementary. So I still do believe in Western medicine for some things, and I don't regret that I had a double mastectomy. But had I had the information I now have, say 20 years ago, one, I think I might not have gotten the cancer, or two, if I did, I might have made a different choice and been still just the same or better without having had the mastectomies. So one of the things that was a turning point was I was just about done writing the book, and I was invited to do a talk, a women's health panel. And there was a naturopathic doctor there, and he made the connection of vitamin D deficiency and breast cancer. Now, in all my research, I had not come up with that. So I started researching what he said, and I found that to be true, that there is a strong correlation. And there isn't a real lot of research on it, but then I started doing my own research. I know hundreds, unfortunately, maybe thousands and thousands of women who've had breast cancer. And the ones that I've asked who actually know their vitamin D level, a majority of them, a good majority, most of them, have told me that they were vitamin D deficient, meaning they were very low. The standard range, as you know, is about 60 to 80 nanograms per milliliter of where you want your vitamin D level to be. I was at 31 nanograms after my surgeries and diagnosis. So I don't know exactly where I was when I was diagnosed, but still I was at the bottom range, and they've increased that range. At the time, they used to, 9 years ago, or actually about 5 years ago, the standard range was 30 to 60, and I was at 31. So I went to my doctor and said, hey, you know, I got this information. What do you think I should do? She goes, oh, well, you know, you're right above deficient, you're okay. And I thought that doesn't really sit that well with me. So I started proactively figuring out ways that I could increase my vitamin D level, because I became convinced that that could be one more way to decrease my risk of getting a recurrence of breast cancer. And so I've been doing my best to spread that one little tip of increase your vitamin D, and you will feel healthier, you'll be healthier, you will start preventing some major and minor illnesses.
So, was it at that point that you realized that there is a connection between vitamins and minerals or nutrition and cancer? Because I mean,
Right,
it wasn't part of the book, you know, so that's
right.
why I'm saying it was is it at that point?
Yeah, the book was already at the publishers. And then I realized, you know what? It's done. I've worked on this for 4 years. You kind of have to reach a point where you say, you know, it's good, it's done. I covered what I wanted to at that point. If I wrote the book today, it would be totally different. And perhaps I will go back and rewrite it, or probably just be a different book. Or
Part two.
part two, or come to my course, my online course, and you'll get part two. But anyway, yeah, I started really delving into nutrition and the impact, and we all want to think that we're eating great and doing all the right things. And I've been exercising now for 32 years on a very consistent basis. So I thought I was doing great. But the key component that I was missing was supplementation, really healthy, quality, great vitamins. And by increasing the doses of those and adding those to my life in the right combination and finding one that really absorbs into your body, and that's really, amazing quality. It's made all the difference in my health.
Yeah, sure. So today you're not doing any of the lawyering, right? You're more in the health and wellness. You're a sports nutritionist, health and wellness coach. So what type of people do you work with, and what's your goal with them?
Yeah, and so just quick, I do a little bit of attorney because people still think of me an attorney and they still come to me with some of their things. So I'm always happy to help people with that. And so what did you ask? What do I do with people when they come to me? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, so what type of people do you work with? And, are you specifically working with people who've had breast cancer, or, is it in a range? And what's your goal with them? What do you hope that you can help them achieve?
Yeah, so about a third of the people that I work with have had breast cancer. And so, I work with men, women. Some of them want to lose weight, more energy, decrease stress. And what I found is so many people in our fast-paced society, we have similar type issues. Basically what I just said, a stressful life, maybe too sedentary, want to lose weight, want more energy, sleep. So many people are sleep deprived. So I basically start with where the person is and what they are hoping to achieve, and then help them get to their goals and their results, and try to find the easiest solution to the problem that they're experiencing. And sometimes it's just like you and I have talked about, some little tweak of something, some little change, some little lifestyle, positive new habit that can make all the difference.
Yeah, okay. So speaking about that tweak then, give me 3 things that everyone should do in order to live a more healthy, fulfilling type life.
Well, for one, sleep is just so important. So I was telling Karen earlier, I didn't get enough sleep last night. I only got maybe 3.5, 4 hours just because some things that were going on in my life. Stayed up too late, had to get up early, and we often find ourselves in that situation. But I'd highly recommend that you do your best to get 7 to 8 good quality hours of sleep. And that's a whole topic. And one of my topics in my The Best You course is on sleep, because I'm finding so many people are sleep deprived. And when you don't sleep well, chances are then you're not eating well, because maybe you're grabbing for food because you're just so tired. And so you need energy from somewhere. And then your mood just isn't good because you're tired and you're cranky and acting out, whatever the case. So sleep would be a #1 priority that you really need to work on, and try and do it in a more natural way without a bunch of medications. So yeah, the medications, if you're on medication and you have to be, start trying to wean yourself off if you can. And then drinking water, lots of water. And so the rule of thumb is take your body weight. So say you weigh 160 pounds, divide that in 2, that would be 80. And that would be about how many ounces you want to be drinking a day, 80 ounces. So what I do, I have 3 bottles, basically like this. I fill them up the night before, and that's what I need to drink that day, is I need to accomplish getting all of those bottles into my body. And Karen just held up her water bottle. So
Yeah, I have 5 of these. These are 16 ounces, and I take all 5, I line them up, I fill them up with water so that I remember. So by the end of the day, they better all be empty.
Because if I just carry the one, think, did I fill it up twice, or did I fill it up 3 times, or how many, have I done? So filling it up in advance really does help. So those would be 2 of them. So, and then my third thing, I'm a really big proponent of exercise. So I try to do something physical every single day. So I switch it off. I run 3 miles a day, 3 times a week. Now, I'm not saying you have to run, but maybe get out and just walk or move a little bit more today than you did yesterday. I love going to the gym. I know not everyone does, but if you go to a gym, find one close to your house, find one that's affordable, that you like the people that you're going to want to go, and set yourself up for success. So between sleep, getting more exercise and movement, and I know it seems counterintuitive in some ways. Oh, I'm so tired. I don't have the energy to exercise. I can guarantee you, if you start exercising, you will have more energy. You will sleep better. You will feel better. Do you agree, Karen?
Oh my gosh, yes. Andrea had me do a plank before we did this interview because my energy was low and I'm feeling so tired. And I could only hold the plank for, I think it was maybe 20 seconds, which is really embarrassing, but it did. It lifted my spirits. It made me feel better. That was the big thing. I was just so happy to just have more energy. So yeah, I definitely agree with that one for sure.
So speaking of plank, so while you ask me something else, I'm going to get repositioned here, and I'm going to actually do plank while I'm answering your next question. So I'm here in my home office. I'm actually wearing a dress, which I don't necessarily recommend you do planks while you're wearing a dress, but just to show you, you can do this anytime, any place, anywhere. So I'm doing it right up on my arms right now.
Yeah.
Karen, if I go down to my elbows, can you still see me, or do I need to adjust my camera?
You need to adjust your camera. All we can see is your lovely butt.
Oh, butt. So when you have your butt, when you're doing plank, you don't want your butt way up in the air. So like plank, like a board, you want to kind of try and be flat, and you want to have your butt kind of down. Can you see me better now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so while you're in your plank, and she can hold it a long while, just to let you guys know, why would someone want to take your program?
Well, because like we talked about a few minutes ago, sometimes you think you're doing things in your life, and you might know them, but are you actually doing them? And so my program is, I'm going to get off plank because maybe it's a little harder to hear me here, but I highly recommend you try that, ladies or gentlemen, whoever's watching. It really will get you going. It's a good workout. You can see maybe the coloring of my face actually even improved in just a couple seconds of holding that. So yeah, my program, because it covers the basics of life. We talk about mood. That's the first module we talk about. If you don't have a good mood and a good mindset, the rest of the stuff doesn't really fall into place. Sleep, exercise, stress, eating, and overall health are things that we cover. And the people in my program have really been getting a lot out of it, really feeling like they're learning something. And I've been just so thrilled with their comments and their progress. One lady started the program and she was bedbound at the time. You may know who I'm talking about, Karen, because you're in my program. And she's made such progress in a few weeks. She had other things, that she was working on, but she has just delighted me, and it really inspired me how much she's used what I've been offering and implemented, and she's back to work. She's out of bed. She's moving. She's exercising. So it really inspires me to watch the progress of my students.
That is amazing. So how can they get started today on their journey to a new you? What is the first thing they should do?
The first thing is go to my website. You don't have to sign up for the course immediately. Take a look at it, read the testimonials, see my free blogs and videos, all that kind of stuff. So go to www.mybestme.us and take a look, browse around, feel free to contact me and ask me questions, follow me on Facebook, friend me, and we're all in this together, and we learn from each other like Karen and I do, and I'm here to help.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Andrea, so much for taking some time out of your busy day in your plank to just share with us. This has been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate you interviewing me and talking to me today, and I hope we've provided some value to our viewers and that they go out, do a plank today. Start where you are, maybe 10, 15 seconds of it, and then just increase it. And you can check my videos. I have some other videos of planking and some ideas of how to do it, and you will definitely benefit. So
you're just making me smile.
Go do another plank, Karen. So
I think I will.
All right, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.